On everyone, how's it going tonight? We're going to dive in, as we always do, on some OCPoetry content. Very excited to be back with you all. I'm in a different space, but still the same dude, ready to rock with you. So I picked out a few things here and there that we could talk about, and if there's time afterwards, maybe I'll look at some stuff in new, but basically just cruised around over the course of the week and found some stuff that interested me. I got a DM after last week from Martin Harry Turpin here to talk about his poem Titan Arum. Sounds like he also has some stuff going on, or I assume he on Speakeasy, but we're not going to dip in there. We're just going to look at this poem, and I might not cover the whole thing, Titan, or whole thing, Martin, but let's just give it a little bit of a go, see where we go. All right. Full disclosure, I had to Google it. We are talking about some type of giant flower. So, sexual organ associations are ripe for the picking here. What device is my design? What am I to take credit for? See that second line? What am I to take credit for? How we're ending with that for. We're ending with a kind of preposition there. It's just a little bit awkward. And it expand. What device is my design? We really immediately think about Blake. We think about tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night. Who dared frame thy dreadful symmetry? Is that I think that more or less where I'm going, right? So right at the get-go, the device. What device is my design? We get that Blake echo. But then what am I to take credit for really steps us down a little bit and asks another question, like, why are we talking about credit? Like who's taking credit for this? This is a homework assignment? When something lights up in my mind and then shakes and makes metaphor, okay, so that rhymes with the credit for. But it's this kind of hip-hop rhyme, which I'm not opposed to, but just the number of syllables we expend in that second line as opposed to the first two, to me it just reads a little flippant. But it comes to life and then it dies. I stay behind to rake up pedaled apostrophe D floors into piles, into place, into lines, into shapes of nettles, thorns spread along my veins with their vines, embraced, enveloped, forced. So my core issue here is the original proposition of the poem. What device is my design? What am I to take credit for? Those two initial questions. I would be comfortable with just one of those two. What device is my design? We want to see it deliver on that. We want to see the poem really pursue what device is my design. But instead we get this I stay behind. What? Behind what? You're staying behind the flower's lifespan? Why do you stay behind? It introduces all these additional questions that the poem maybe is going to get into later. To sit still in this gristmill tangled in the bramble of my ego. Well, the poem didn't open with questions about the ego. The poem didn't open with questions about the speaker. It's the what am I to take credit for about the flower or about the speaker or the writer of the poem? So I admire the ambition of this poem. I admire its interest in making, asking big questions. I still feel like poetry has an opportunity to answer perhaps one question at a time, perhaps, or at least pursue I would look at Marianne Moore's To a Snail and see how it goes after that. Blake probably isn't a good model for this poem, but Marianne Moore's To a Snail might be, since there's a lot of complexity in that poem and it asks a lot of difficult to answer questions successfully. Okay, I picked up on this Elaine's Seraphim music. Seraphim sound nice. I don't know what to say. I'm getting these crying attacks by the water. By the water, my love. I am the only one. You play so many symphonies. Though I'm young and don't know anything, I wish you would understand. Life is not as beautiful as how you see it. Life is dressed like seagulls. When you fly around trash and attack your head, life is always ugly. I'm drifting in the most blue of all blues. I love you, I think. I love you. I may say something like that sometimes. When I'll go, there's nothing left, and nothingness has no music in it. So, Seraphim sound nice. I'm not sure exactly what a seraphim is. I think maybe Seraphim was some type of opera or something like that. Probably it's some type of music thing. I don't know what to say. So the poem again has this kind of proposal. I don't know what to say about Seraphim. Seraphim sound nice. Offers this very quick, abortive closure. Seraphim sound nice. I don't know what to say. So we expect poems to know what to say. So, it's a difficult opening to say that. I don't know what to say. I think it's saying that the speaker is having difficulty articulating themselves. They're under a certain amount of emotional duress. Getting these, which certainly borne out by that third line, I'm getting these crying attacks by the water, my love. I'm the only one. So my suspicion about this operas or symphonies of seraphims who play me so many symphonies, though I'm young and don't know anything. So I would like this part of the poem to be the first part, to open with this. Who play so many symphonies, though I'm young and don't know anything, would be a better way to open the poem than Seraphim sound nice, I don't know what to say. I mean, they are a similar statement, obviously, but you're going to carry the reader further by opening with this. I wish you would understand life is not as beautiful as how you see it. So that's a very interesting statement. Life is stress like seagulls. So I'm not exactly sure I understand that, except to say that seagulls seem to be engaged in this incessant battle for trash. When they fly around trash and attack your head, life is always ugly. Not sure. I mean, a lot of people associate the places where seagulls go as beautiful places, like beaches and resorts. Maybe this person doesn't make those associations. I don't know. I think this poem is interesting. I mean, it could be hinting at some type of mentorship with an older, experienced person and a younger apprentice. I think that's really interesting. They're overwhelmed by this experience. I'm drifting in the most blue of all blues. I love you, I think. I love you, I may say. It's interesting. It's promising. It's just not fully realized. But very tempting. Let's look at Inertia by my old buddy Moose Balls. Word to Nigel T. Moose Balls. Moose Balls. Why am I saying that? It sounds dumb. Okay. I think my neighbors think I'm dead because I've stopped cleaning up the cigarettes they flick over the wall into my yard. For the second time this month, I forget to put the bins out. All right, Moosey. Great start. So see how quickly Nigel's situating the reader. I think my neighbors think I'm dead. So that's a really, really great intro. So the reader's 100% with you now because of stopped cleaning up. So now you're really interested. Why did he stop cleaning up? The cigarettes, they flick over the wall into my yard. Okay, so Moose Balls, Nigel's setup is not Lux, right? And his neighbors are dicks. I forgot to put the bins out. Okay. We don't necessarily need that information, but I mean, okay. Fine. I guess we do insofar as I've been too busy writing about sad goldfish. But do we? I think my neighbors think I'm dead because I've stopped cleaning up the cigarettes they flick over the wall into my yard. I've been busy writing about sad goldfish, people in comas, horses that get drunk, insects, suicide, and sex. Great. So Nigel's on an absolute tear here. Instead of application letters, do we care that he's writing application letters, resumes, and all the other boring shit I should be doing? Could just delete that. I ought to put more effort into making this poetic, paint poignant, life-affirming pictures, seeds growing from dirt or birds rising from ashes. Okay. I think I ought to put more effort into making this poetic, seeds growing from dirt or birds rising from ashes, but I vomit in my mouth. I don't know that you need paint poignant, life-affirming pictures, but I'm not hurt by that. But I vomit in my mouth and tell myself, admit it, what you really want to say are words that cut. Great. So give me all those words, Nigel. Lay it on me. Come on. Hurt me plenty. Stand up, lash out, like things you see unhappy people do. Show me. Standing up and lashing out is not depictive enough for me. It's not specific enough. Who is angry? Show me them angry. Show me the punches that they the punches fly in the night, or I don't know, chainsaws revving, or tires punctured. What's going on? Those who know their days are numbered, so they shout at nurses. Okay, might be older people or terminally ill. Scold young couples. That definitely sounds like old folks. Trip up children in the park. So just an angry old man, Nigel? I don't know. I'm not buying it. If you look a little deeper, all they want is to be heard and understood. Okay, that's a letdown. You don't need to tell us that, Nigel, because they are afraid. All they want is to be loved. All right, that's definitely trite. So much strength in this poem. You don't want to end it that way, man. Don't give people a massage after punching them in the face. Punch them in the face, and then buy him a beer. But don't give him a massage. Don't be like, oh, I'm sorry, I'll give you an ice pack. Let your poem have its effect. Don't give them this, all they really want is to be loved. Maybe they don't want to be loved. I don't know. Wouldn't that be a possible outcome, that they just don't want to be loved? Let's look at settlements. By Neutrino Prism. Gotta rock the glasses for the fine print here, guys. Rockford. Here's the situation. Okay, well, you already told us Rockford, so you don't need to tell us the situation. Something has happened to your midsection. We can't quite stitch what's left together. You have my attention. You'll never push with any weight again. What happened to your midsection? Hit by a Buick? Where is Rockford? So like Rockford, I don't know. Where's Rockford? Sounds like Middle America. But some parts of you still hum, and you really should be pleased at the arrangements we've composed of your finest surviving flora. Okay, so the finest surviving flora, well, that's a non sequitur, unless you're talking about Rockford, the place itself, which is, disemboweled by something or other, but totally lost us. So the poem might be dead now. Because you haven't told us anything specific about Rockford or justified why you chose Rockford as this section. Washington, D.C. Okay, so that's a big jump from Rockford. You're walking to work, okay? I'm walking to work. There's a small tear in your back pocket lined up with an open slit in your wallet, and all your credit cards are falling out, little plastic chimes on the pavement behind you, and more things spill out. Your subway card. Okay, we get the idea. Your dollar bills, your unpaid bills, your family photos, tax returns, transcript of your dreams last night, a copy of your birth certificate. Okay. All right. And more effective. This is better than the previous one because it seems specific in some way to Washington, D.C., of people living beyond their means, people trying to live out a dream that's not going to work. Maybe they want to become great politicians, or maybe they want to become great lobbyists, or, great professionals, whatever they want to be, aspire to. It's not working out. Great doctors, who knows, great lawyers, I don't know. It's not working. Your thumbprint's an x-ray of your hand. Okay. Why Washington? Why not New York? Why not LA? I don't know. Don't know. Poet doesn't answer that. Freeport. Freeport what? Freeport, Rhode Island? Freeport, Maine, maybe? Maine? The seniors seat the sanctuary sparely. A lot of S's. Very alliterative. Dark woodwork frames white windows squarely. The spirit blooms inside the big box barely. Nothing about Freeport. It's a total letdown. I mean, Freeport, Maine, I'm guessing, right? Is that where L.L. Bean is? Totally and completely mysterious in not a positive way. Mysterious is like, someone playing 20 questions and that, like, the thing they've come up with is just completely and totally impossible. Which is why we're going to go to Chengdu next. So Chengdu, China, great. So I think everything was in the United States before, just a guess. Now we're going to Chengdu. Why? You can feel it on your tongue, that's why. The cloud. Which cloud? Obscuring, ever-present, but you're not allowed to speak of it or scrutinize the lucid closing gaps where passing bodies plowed. So I think there's a lot. I mean, this is a poet of clear strength and intelligence. I'm not sure why I feel so convinced of that being true, but to speak of it, not allowed to speak of it, nor scrutinize the lucid closing gaps. I mean, this is exact use of language for a completely inexact, pointless windmill tilting quest. Because none of these things tie into their location. They seem completely and totally, willfully irrelevant. But, this poet's going to write good stuff. They just need to learn how to write a poem. They have the tools. They're just not orchestrating them yet. That will come with time. That will come with practice. Trust me. Look out for a neutrino prism. Maybe not today, but next week or next month, they'll be in literary magazines. All right. Hawkins Monster. 15. This is the bar, isolated tables, personal bubbles, the divergence of assimilation. The familiarity, soothing, did not maintain comfort. A screen in your pocket exists. Okay, so it's their smartphone. The waitress is already back. Beam of insidious stares demand an answer. Why would the waitress give you insidious stares unless you're kooked and crazy? The waitress doesn't care. The waitress just wants to take your order. So, I mean, if you're on drugs, maybe it seems insidious. To a glass of ice, but refuse a prideful request for finishing first? It's like a weird masturbation sex race. Leaves more to desire from the crowd. Finishing first to a glass of ice. The home team wins. Squeaking sneakers above looming chatter sliced open by thumping bass. Okay, so the joint's thumping. Borders forced open by staff? What borders? Carry tables, chairs away, enticing immigration. All right, so the whole restaurant's like a metaphor for immigration now. The goal to maintain a sense of control. The restaurant people are like, ICE staff. Tested by ego-driven friends. Guys, so Reddit, you guys just got to do this thing with like ego in a poem. Just like, don't put ego in a poem. It's almost always just a mistake. It's just doesn't seem like it's going to work. Flanked by another test in the form of an ambitious stranger, we lean heads, toe the line of conversation among abhorrent noise pollution. So I don't know if this poet's going to pull their stuff together and be able to write some convincing stuff. I hope they can. My bland, unstable questions reveal a New York resident. I think of my mother. I don't know. I mean, there's things about this poem that are interesting to me. I mean, I think its desire to maintain this tension between talking about immigration or borders in a restaurant and like the staff or like, I don't know, police state or something is potentially interesting. There's a lot of ideas in this poem. It's just not orchestrated. I don't know. I always wonder, am I reading Americans, Australians? Am I reading UK, English, Welsh? No, mainly, maybe I'm reading Indian. I don't know. This, I feel like maybe I'm going on a limb here. I'm reading an American. I don't know why I'm so sure I'm reading an American, but I think Americans like me, we know how to fuck up a poem just in a unique way. Where we don't even treat it as a poem, we just treat it as like thought experiment of stuff. Of like, well, what kind of weird ideas can we inject into a poem? And we Americans, we got to learn poems just can't withstand all this stuff. I mean, maybe. But more often than not, we just end up breaking them. And they're delicate. Poems are delicate. They can't take all this stuff all the time. Do one or two things with them and, treat them tenderly. See what happens. I don't know. That's my advice for this evening, guys. Treat poems gently. Don't break them. And, I don't know. If this isn't an American, then I owe you an award. So let me know. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you again in 2 weeks. Rock on.